Hello guys and welcome to our 100 baby house speed build. Here is the inspo pic that I will be using for today's build because as I've mentioned quite a lot on my channel, I am not a builder in any way, shape or form. So I figured if I'm gonna try building this by myself, having like a guideline to work off of, it would be the best route to go. So that was just the inspo pick for today's build. Obviously, I did try sticking as close as possible to it, but of course, this is The Sims and not real life. So everything is not gonna look exactly the way it does in the picture, but it was very handy actually having a guideline, especially if you're like me and building is not exactly your strong suit. So we are currently building the house in Windenburg because at the time that I was recording this, the poll on the community tab was had Windenburg leading as to where we should move next. If of course it does change, I will just move the house. I think I'm gonna give it until I upload part 2, which will be the interior, because this is just the exterior. So up until I upload the video for the interior, I'm gonna leave the poll open. So if it does change, I will move it. But for now, we're in Windenburg. So as I also mentioned, this is just part 1, the exterior of the house. I guess I could have trimmed it down a lot more than I did, but I wanted to leave in a bit of the struggle because I know when we watch build videos of people who really are like super good at it, you're like, how do they do this? I struggle for 5 million years just to get a shape. So I wanted to leave in a bit of the struggle so that y'all can just relate and know that no, not everyone has it easy. But yes, so let me just start talking about the actual house now. So I just started by drawing like a general shape that the house looked like. And then I just tried figuring out the porch. I was actually quite lucky that the columns that were in the picture were very similar to the ones that I used. So I was actually quite happy that something actually matched. I did look at quite a few pictures when I was looking for like a guideline for the house, and some of them were really, really nice, but building it in The Sims would be quite not actually really difficult with the shell per se, but the like terrain manipulation and having things on different levels, I just was not comfortable with that aspect as yet. So I tried finding something that still looked nice, but was actually going to be like easy enough for me to try and recreate in The Sims. So that is why I chose this one. If at some point in my life I do become a bit better at this, I will try my hand at a bit more of a difficult build, but for today, this is what we're going with. So here I was kind of trying to figure out dimensions because, of course, real life dimensions and the Sims dimensions are not the same thing. So you kind of have to guesstimate the size of everything, which it turned out to be a bit of a struggle. I do end up adjusting the size of the shell quite a number of times just to make it kind of look like the image and also look like decent. So as for the like accessories to the exterior, meaning like fences and columns, I did try keeping it as close to the picture as possible, but if I couldn't find something that matched exactly, I just kind of took a bit of creative liberty and used something that at least fit in or looked decent with the house. So I put up those, I'm really not really sure what you call it. Is it freezers? I don't know. Around the top balcony area because I just wanted to hide the tops of the columns that were really sticking out, and I think it kind of turned out okay. It doesn't look so bad, and at least that hides the top portion of the columns. And now comes the roofing. So this is a portion where I probably could have cut out quite a lot, but we know that roofing is a struggle, and I felt like leaving that in will just show you that it really do be a struggle. I think even like people who do building videos for a living, I guess is what I'd say, struggle with roofing in The Sims. So that's why I decided to leave it in, because you guys know that the struggle is very real. Yeah. Okay. Roofing is what we were talking about. So yes, I was trying to decide what to do with this little portion where the bottom part kind of has like sticks out, and it obviously has to be roofed. So the trick that I use here is actually not my trick. I saw it on another build video, and I've watched quite a lot of build videos, so I wish I could like give you the names of everyone, so you know, to give them credit for all of the tips and tricks, but I really cannot remember everyone. But thank you to the YouTube building community out there for letting us okay, should I say amateur level builders, because I don't feel like I'm amateur level even, like whatever comes before amateur level builders, actually learn and have something look somewhat decent. So thank you guys for that. So that is kind of what I started out with for the roofing on that area. But then there was like the little gap. I don't know if you saw that. There's this little gap between the roof and the wall that I saw in the picture was not there. So I needed to try and find a way to kind of just hide the little gap so that it looks like the roof is like flowing as one big thing into the wall. And so I was just playing around with mixing the two roof types to kind of try and hide the little gap that was between the roof and the wall. And I do eventually figure it out, don't stress. But yeah, because if you pull it out all the way, you had that little thing sticking out. So what I decided to do is instead just pull it in to make it like one tile so that it just hides that little gap. Yeah, here I'm doing it. So I just pulled it out and then pulled the other roofing piece like that. So if you pull it over, then that gap is hidden. In certain lights, you can kind of see the difference, but it actually looks quite well because it really does just hide that little gap between the wall and the roof. So it looks like the roof is just one flowing piece. Here I started working on some of the roof details because if in the picture there are some of those little small roof portions that I didn't want to build extra rooms for. I just wanted to use the roof details. Obviously, they're not going to look exactly the same as the picture. Like I mentioned, like this is The Sims, this is not real life. I did really try to get the details as close as possible to the pictures. And since I very rarely build, or very even rarer that I use roof details when I build, this was kind of a new experience for me, and it was actually kind of fun to just play around with these things that I never actually use. And I do hope that if I continue to do this, I actually become a bit better at building, and then eventually I could actually do a decent job. I did also save my progress quite a lot, because if I was going to lose this progress that I've made, because this took me, I had to film this building process in 3 different portions because I was sitting down for so long that my back started hurting. Here we're just playing around with some roof trims. So what I was having a problem with is how the roof trim would go around. You see the part that covers the balcony, it goes completely around, and I didn't like that because I wanted it to just look like the roof is flowing directly into the other roof. And so I wanted to because I wanted to use the roof trim to cover up the tops of the columns, but that wasn't working. So I used another little trick that I've also seen in other building videos, where you take like that very tiny fence and make it look like a room. So then you can add those things that I still don't remember what it's called. It's like a trim, I guess, for an exterior room or something. And then you can use that to just cover the tops of the columns, because then it recognizes it as a room and then it will actually place. And there I eventually found a roof trim that I didn't hate. And then the columns were also actually covered up. And now we start kind of with the, what I would probably call the accessorizing of the exterior. Now, the siding and things that I used are not the same color as the ones in the picture. The picture actually is blue, but because the current house that we have is already blue, I decided let's just go with a bit of a different color scheme. So I went like with a light white type of siding and just a dark brick to kind of break it up. And these windows that I found from Snowy Escape were actually very, very close to the ones in the picture. So I was kind of happy about that, that it actually looked similar to the ones that I saw in the picture. And just a quick aside, you guys will see that there are some custom content build items as I'm scrolling through. I did not use anything. I was trying my very best to avoid it, so that if I upload it to the gallery, I'm not sure if it would turn out good enough for anyone to want to download it from the gallery, but if you did, there wouldn't be any custom content, at least on the exterior. I might use 1 or 2 items on the interior, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So here I was just trying to figure out the window situation, and I did keep going back to the reference picture. I had it in front of me, so every now and again I would just go ahead and look and see maybe where windows were placed, what types of windows they were. If I didn't have like the exact matching type, could I use something else? If there was like a size discrepancy where the windows that I wanted to use didn't fit, like for example on this portion, the windows that I wanted to use wouldn't fit on that little area there, so I had to kind of just use my imagination and find a window that looked similar but was also still gonna fit into the build. And as you can see there now with the lighting, that little roof piece is showing through, but it's not as bad if you look from a different angle. So yes, now we are just gonna place the windows and doors quite similarly on the top balcony. I think I just used a smaller door, but I think the windows are similar. I used mainly windows from the Snowy Escape pack because they did look quite similar to the ones in the picture. As you can see, those paneled windows from the Snowy Escape pack just worked perfectly. And then obviously placing windows on roofs it's quite a headache, because if you use ones that are too tall, it will poke through the roof like that one, which is quite annoying. So if you have the tool mod, you can just size it down a little bit and make it work, but I am barely a builder. I'm not going to be starting to play around with the tool mod just yet. I feel like I would just make a lot more of a struggle for myself. Here I was trying to find like a door type situation for what was the garage portion on the picture of the house. So I know we technically don't have garages in The Sims 4, but I still wanted it to look like that, because even though those doors are not going to be functional because there are no stairs for them to actually get into it, I just wanted to have the look of a garage, because I was gonna I'm planning to use that room as kind of like a skill building room or a homework room, maybe even put a few school projects in there. So I don't need those doors to be functional, but I did want to have the look that the picture gave of like a garage portion. Now here I was trying to just figure out the like pavement type situation that they had going on in the picture. It's not exactly the same because of course the dimensions are different, but I think I did get it quite close to what the picture was showing, and I think it turned out like decent. Okay, so if you think I'm not a builder, true, but if you think the landscaping was going to go any better, then you're in for a major surprise. Landscaping is actually the one thing I dread the most, because I never know what to use. But you know what? Just bear with me. I eventually do figure it out. So here I started just looking at a fence to draw out the backyard, because if you look at the picture, that the backyard is kind of fenced off, so I just wanted to use that. And also a little trick, again, not my trick, because I did see this in another video. If you want to build a fence, attached to a house on a platform, but you don't want the fence to be on a platform, you start by drawing the fence one tile away from the house and it will be flat on the grass, and then you just connect the end portion to the house, and then it should not be on a platform. So because we did not have a lot of direction for the backyard, because obviously we only see the front in the picture, I had to kind of again try to figure out my own type of thing. So I wanted to put like a big sliding door out here, maybe to encourage the family to spend more time outside. I know the downside is that that door does take up a lot of space on the interior, which doesn't leave a lot of wall space for you to put things against, but I will deal with that when I get there. I also just placed some more windows around the sides of the house, and obviously on the back of the house as well, so we can get some natural lights. The windows might change when I go into the interior, depending on where I want to place things. Just a quick look at the reference photo again. So the window placement might change. So I looked at the picture and the porch looked like it had like a dark wood type of situation going on the porch. So I think I ended up using this one, which made me really glad that I used the white siding, because that really does make the dark wood kind of look quite good and not kind of overwhelming, because sometimes when you do use dark wood, it just makes the whole build look dark. But I think against kind of the white exterior, it actually turned out quite nice. And then of course we need some exterior lighting, which is something that I actually forget to do quite a lot, so I am glad that I reminded myself of this. But I figured, you know, the kids might be playing outside a lot in this house, hopefully, because I did pay quite a lot of attention to backyard activities. So I was like, you know what, I am gonna actually remember to put some exterior lighting this time. And then I checked, and those lights that I put up weren't really working as well. They're not as bright, but they do look nice. And then I figured, you know, since both are the porch and the balcony are technically under a roof, there's a ceiling. A ceiling light makes sense. So I did go ahead and place the ceiling light as well, just to provide more light. As you can see, that looks just a whole lot better already. And logically, it kind of makes sense because there's a roof, there's a ceiling, so a ceiling light works, right? So don't come at me, it makes sense, okay? But I do like the look of those lights. I just needed the light that the ceiling light provided, because those lights weren't exactly providing all of the light that I wanted it to. And then, as you can see, like on the top of the gate, there's like these little lanterns that provide light. So I tried to find the something that looked as close to those ones that I could, and I just added them to the corners of the fences. I just thought that kind of brought in the light from the gates, and also provided some more backdoor lighting for the backyard area, because I do believe that hopefully the family will be using this backyard area quite a lot. And I just put this light at the side of the house. I didn't need it to match, because it's not like in the same area. It's just kind of a little way to see where you're going if you are going around the house to the back through the gate. And of course, the house would not be complete without a pool, which I do end up doing on that side. I don't know if they're going to be using the pool anytime soon. I think we just finished off with winter in the 100 baby challenge, so maybe, I mean, maybe with the change of the seasons they will start using the pool a bit more. But I do like adding a pool to my house if I could. I feel like it just adds a bit of something to the backyard that makes it look a little bit less empty, and provides another activity for them to do. Now, again, we are going to put in pool lights. It's very important that we light this up. If at anytime someone wants to come out at night and have a swim, they will actually be able to see where they're going. Yay, lights. So yes, I just added a few more items. Of course, the pool ladder, I mean, if you know, you know. And then no Sims 4 pool would be complete without a flotation device. And I mean, this is the 100 baby challenge. We can go colorful. I did want to use the pizza slice because we're doing food themed names, but I think it just took up a bit too much space and our pool is kind of tiny. So I just went with that reclined floating thing in the end. And I quite like the way that turned out. And then I remembered that since these garage quote unquote doors don't have to be functional, we could actually probably place things in front of these doors because they're not going to be using those doors. So, you know, if we obstruct them, that should be fine. I thought that what is more normal than seeing a bike outside of a house with like a lot of children? So I don't know if they're actually going to be using the bikes, but I thought that it just added a bit to the house to have the bikes just standing out front. I know normally they would probably be in the garage, but you know what? This is The Sims. Let's just go with it. And I literally just went ahead and scrolled through all of the things that could be done outside for the kids. And then I decided, you know what? Let's put up the tree house, because I mean, this is a house full of kids. A tree house makes sense, and that took kind of a bit of weight off my shoulders with regards to landscaping, because I mean, there's a tree house, so I don't have to worry that much. And then I made another decision to put in a splash pad because I've never really played with the splash pads and it just looked like so much fun. I mean, if it's like a hot summer's day, they have the pool on the one side. If they just wanted to, you know, because I remember we used to just run through the sprinklers sometimes if we didn't really want to go swimming. So I figured, you know what a fun summer activity. And this is the 100 baby house. I mean, when else am I going to be able to add a splash pad to any build that I do? Not that I do a lot of them because, you know, but I decided, you know what, let's do it. Let's add a splash pad because let's let the kids have some fun. I mean, they grow up in the 100 baby house. It's already very traumatic. So I was just deciding to do it, and the portion, this front portion did look a little bit empty. So I was like, you know what, this takes up a lot of space, and you know what, it provides the kids with something to do. And now we're doing a bit of landscaping. Now, this is not a tutorial or instructions. I'm just going to explain what I do and why I do it. If you want to use the trick, go ahead. But again, I am not an expert. So what I like to do is I like to find these, like this very short type of plant, because the grass just feels very flat to me. And in real life, grass, you know, sticks up from the ground. So I like to place something that at least gives the grass a bit of dimension, and then maybe add something into it like flowers or something like that, just like it give it a bit more of a realistic look. I know it doesn't, but that is why I do it. I'm not saying it's the way to go for landscaping. If you want to do it, that's just why I do it. Again, if you want to use my trick, good, but like I said, this is definitely not a tutorial. So on this side I did the same. I just sized up the plants a bit because the area was a bit bigger, and then I used these small type of tree plants and just sized them up because the normal trees were a bit too large and they were blocking off too much of the house. So I just decided to use those ones sized up so that it gives it a bit of dimension. And then I used these rocks and just placed them randomly because they actually blended in quite well with the color of the pavement. So I thought, you know, that would be kind of realistic in like just a front garden type situation to have the rocks. Yeah, that is the only explanation I have, is that the color matched and I wanted to add a little bit of something to make it look like maybe it's keeping the grass from growing up onto the pavement so that it's like a bit more intentional. So that's why we went ahead and did that. And you know what? For someone who doesn't build in The Sims, I was quite happy with it. Like, it's not the best house that you're ever gonna find, but for me, it was actually pretty decent. I have to say, I was pretty happy about it. And then I just filled in our path that leads to the backyard, to that gate. And here I was using the terrain tool. So what I did is I just put the slider to a bit softer and chose the mud and just placed it randomly under the trees. So that just gives the illusion that people are actually walking and building on that, like under the tree and stuff. Again, not my own trick. I saw it in a bunch of build videos. I just want to keep saying that. And I feel like whoever figured that out, props to you, because it actually does make it look a bit more realistic. Because if you're going to be walking around that area the whole time, placing heavy objects on it and building a tree house, obviously it's going to become a little bit muddy. The grass is going to fade out a bit. And here we were just trying to figure out the backyard portion. Now, the backyard is mainly, it's very kid focused. I mean, this is the 100 baby challenge. Obviously, our 100 baby mom can use the pool area and stuff, but I focused mainly on kids' activities. I just scrolled through everything that kids could possibly do in this game to try and find things for them to entertain themselves and maybe even build up some skills, because skill building in the Sims is, in the 100 baby challenge, is a very, very big part of their life. So yes, I tried to find items that would be fun and would actually get them skills. So again, you can see I was just scrolling through and I found the soccer ball, and I thought just placing that in on the front pavement would be cute, because you always have like soccer balls and things lying around in a house full of kids. And we're back in the backyard. So yes, I was just really scrolling through all of the outdoor activities that you could possibly find. And I think I eventually decided to switch out the swing set for the monkey bars, because I know for one of the aspirations that they use the monkey bars. Not that we focus a whole lot on the aspirations for the kids, but if we would want to, at least we have that option. And of course, it gives them something to do. Now, the pirate ship, of course, had to go in the yard, and I do believe that it is still functional size down. I think the one that we have outside our house currently is still functional size down. I will check once we actually play with it. I believe there is some space if we do have to use the full-sized one, but I think it should be functional. I'm speaking under correction, of course. So again, here I was just scrolling through. I found these solar panels. I don't really know if they do anything, but I just thought it's like a little realistic touch to a house. Nowadays, people have solar panels on their roofs. I'm like, you know what? Let me add 2 of those. Why not? As I said, I was scrolling through, and as I found items, I just placed them down. So here I found the monkey bars, I believe, and I was trying to make it work along with the swing set. I was trying to figure out placement to get both the swing set and the monkey bars, but I do think that I end up just doing the monkey bars because I couldn't find a setup that I liked exactly for both. I know the swing set is nice and really cute, and the kids do enjoy it. Maybe I will add it out front somewhere, maybe underneath a tree house, but for now I did decide to just settle for the monkey bars. Again, we might change some things. This is not set in stone. It might still change, but I'm just letting you know what I eventually decided to do. So yes, I eventually decided to just keep the pirate ship and the monkey bars. That does give the kids quite a lot to do, so I didn't feel too bad for removing the swing set. So here I just wanted to fill up the pool area a bit more because it was looking a little bit empty. So I decided, you know what, we should get some loungers because mom can maybe chill on one of the loungers while the kids are swimming. I am talking as if she ever has time to do that, but that was kind of the idea I had in my head. We have our little toddler pool to the side there and the big kid pool, so mom could chill there under the umbrella, read a magazine while the kids are swimming. At least that's the way I see it in my head, in an ideal world where everyone's needs are good and all of their tasks are complete. But this is the 100 baby challenge. That probably will never happen. So I do go back and forth a bit with the umbrella and lounge situation because I really wanted the drink tray. But I do eventually figure it out. Don't stress. But yeah, I do go back and forth with it for a bit, and then I do eventually settle on a design, if you want to call it that, for the outside area. I really wanted to use this umbrella because it is nice and colorful for the 100 baby house, but I do think I end up not using it because of just the amount of space that it was taking up. And then I just decided to get this little end table for our drinks tray because it's like the perfect size for the drink tray. So yes, that's what I decided to use. And of course I added the drink tray because that was the whole reason for the side table. And it just kind of looks realistic, you know. They would be outside, or they would all have like their cool drinks or their juices, and they would just enjoy a nice summer's day outside. And then I just decided more outside lighting, and because that area of the backyard was looking empty, I decided to kind of just scooch in the fence a little bit to maybe make the backyard a tiny bit smaller to, you know, take away the stress of needing to find more items to place there, because I didn't want it to look too busy, but it was also looking very empty with the size that it was. So I just decided to change the size a little bit, just maybe 2 tiles smaller. And as you can see, we still have everything fitting in quite comfortably. And here I think I'm making like the final adjustments to the pool area. I think I extended the pool out a bit just to make it a little bit bigger. Yes, see, so I pulled it closer to the fence and a bit away from the house so that I could fit the toddler pool in that little area so they can be swimming with the big kids. And I pulled it out towards the play area a bit as well. And here I think I settle on the final design. I end up using this umbrella just because I think it looks cute, and the square base of the umbrella kind of works with the end table that I used for the drinks tray. So I think this is about what we settled on for the exterior. I'm gonna do any decorations for the porches off camera, and then I'll show you before we start part 2 for the interior. But this is kind of what we settled on. Please comment down below and let me know what you think. And then again, go vote in the poll if you haven't, and I will see you in the next video for the interior part. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking this video and dropping a comment down below. If you're not as yet, please remember to hit that subscribe button and the little bell so that you get notified when a new video goes up. To continue on with the fun, you can click one of the videos that I've popped up on the screen, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!